Have you ever worked with an artist that's been really tricky to work with? Like they're difficult, or they're not listening, or they're just being a pain in the ass. They're not on time. They're not organized. Have you have to work with anyone like that? Not that you have to say their name, of course, but has there been any artist that you've had a tough time filming with?
Jay. No, I'm joking. Nah, it's hip hop, bro. Nobody's on time ever. Everyone's late. But,
everyone's gonna be late.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Like, yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of people, because it's an artistic process. So many people are, and it's video as well. So there's a lot of people that are really, and as am I, but really sort of concerned with how they look on camera, and that's normal, So the biggest trick is just trying to make someone feel comfortable when they're on camera, because a lot of us, the majority of people, I think, aren't comfortable when they're on camera. So that's like, that's probably the biggest thing that everyone's like, oh, how do I look in this? How do I look in this? Not really like realizing that there's like a editing process. Everybody wants to do a billion takes, which is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with doing a billion takes, but, as a videographer, it can get pretty tiring. But
yeah, you know it.
Yeah, Jay knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What about you, Jay? I mean, have you had to work with anyone like in a similar manner, or?
And there's one time it was fucking crack up with boys. We did a cipher, man, but fucking it's pretty unexpected. I went out to go get all the film equipment and came back, and everyone was just like fucked up. So yeah, it was a bit more hard because everyone like kind of forgot their lyrics because we just recorded that day, so it was like a bit more hard that day. And editing it was trying to like fill in bits and pieces and all that stuff. But yeah, no, it was good fun though. But fucking yeah, that was.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Jay. Didn't you do a clip recently where the blokes they did the film clip before they recorded the song, so they like lip synced what they were going to fucking record? So
that was more because I got flooded with footage, man. Because we went to Jury Bay, man. I had probably like 200 and something clips, bro, I had to go through. But that's the one I just finished today. That'll be dropping real soon. That's fucking
yeah. So Chaz, apparently what he did, because usually, obviously, everyone would record your song, and then
first,
once your song recorded, you would lip sync and you would film to that. These guys, they did it in reverse. They filmed the film clip first, and then they went to the recording studio and recorded what was going to be on the film clip. The day's job of lip syncing is just like, you should get like a fucking Emmy for that shit if you edit that.
It worked out though. It came out pretty good though. Yeah, but yeah, it did take a lot longer than some of the other ones.
Wow. You probably need a shitload of cinematic shots, just for, I mean, especially when you're practicing. I don't know if Greasy's ever been the same, but when you write stuff and you practice beforehand, sometimes you change that shit up very last minute in the studio, like you practice it one way, you go to the studio to record it, and it's like it doesn't work out, or because of breathing it doesn't work out, or the delivery of it, something doesn't work out, and you end up changing it. And so if that's the case, filming beforehand, yeah, I can imagine that being an absolute pain in the ass. Possible, of course, possible, but I can imagine that being tricky.
The track was sick though, but yeah, and it's a videography nightmare.
So I mean, how often do you find yourself adapting? How do you like to plan your shit a lot beforehand? You like, this is the location, this is the angle, this is how many different sets we're gonna have, etc, 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 or are you more kind of just go with the flow? You go there, minimal prep, no scouting the location, the lighting is just whatever natural lighting you got to work with, and kind of just doing it all last minute. Where do you kind of fit in that scale?
Me personally, I think the location's probably the main thing that gets sorted, because otherwise you just spend too long driving around. But otherwise, most of it, at least from like speaking for myself, I sort of figure it out on the spot, because there's just so much that looks different through a camera, like as opposed to your human eye. Like you see people going around all the time making the square with their fingers, looking through it, trying to figure out how stuff looks. But at least for myself, I think a lot of it is just done for me creatively on the spot. Like I'll know the location, kind of what I want it to look like, but a lot of it is sort of spitballed on the spot. That's sort of how I work a lot of the time, because I feel like when you plan it sometimes too much, it doesn't come out how you see it in your head. So, yeah.
Overcomplicated, just ends up being too much.
For sure.
Yeah, so Jay, are you the same? Do you just kind of on the fly make it up as you go along kind of thing, and it just works out that way? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've stopped really thinking about, like, since with me and Greasy were doing a lot of, like, the locations, like, haven't really been as much of an issue as much. It's more like quite nice lighting in the background. But, yeah, just, it's not as much to it as, like, location as you need, because all you need is really, like, just nice clear shots. Like, depending on what video you're going for, really, like, if it's a story or if it's just, you know, just something based off just bars, you know.
Just the simple shit is what makes it fucking.
Yeah, like some people go to like overcomplicate it a lot, and it's
Yeah. Do you like to hear the song before you film? Like, do you like to hear what you're working with and kind of gives you an idea for what you want to do, or is it just turn up on the set and you just hear the song there and then kind of thing?
No, every time, man, because, you know, a lot of people, like, they'll ask because they don't really have an idea of what they want to do, and they'll get me to even come up with an idea, and, like, we'll even, like, write out a story for it, like a little storyboard. I just, listen to it bit by bit and just get everything ready, and then, go from there, see what we need, and, then go filming.
Yeah, that's sick, man. How was it filming the, for partly filming the Merk track with me and Greasy? How was it editing all of that together? How did that kind of how did you feel about that?
Yeah, well, that was one of those ones where, like you said, like, plans change, like, because, like I said, I had an idea, I filmed it all, like, and then I kind of thought about it after, and then I was like, well, no, we kind of don't need to do as much of that, because kind of like I wasn't comfortable with pushing. Well, I wanted to try it, but in the end, like, the other idea would have turned out like a lot more like straightforward, and it would have got to the point because of, like, your reviews and stuff like that, and reactions and everything. So, like, freaking made sense for Australia and for a reaction of your voice and vice versa.
Yeah, that was a dope video concept. I mean, I had that idea. Sorry, someone take over. Shit, sorry, I'm ill at the moment. No, I had that video idea. I was meant to do a track with another Australian artist, and that was the original video concept. But then the song never kind of formed together. They never got their side of the verse or their side of the track done. And so then I still had that idea still floating in my head anyway, and it was just kind of, oh well, whoever I kind of next work with, fuck it, that you know, that's what we'll kind of run with. And then I think you suggested it anyway, and it was just like, all right, so we're on the same lines then. And it was just executing that.
Yeah, because Greasy said his old man mentioned it as well to him. So, like, it was pretty. I think it all worked out pretty good.
Yeah, that's it.